If you're looking to add creativity to your mixes, in this video, we're diving into the Air Creative Effects Collection 2. And as a treat, we'll be using a top charting track by talented young Kai. This is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. Let's go! Hey everyone, and welcome back. This is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. In this video, I'm real excited to show you guys the Air Creative Effects Collection 2. I've been a big fan of these plugins for years, and they have been included inside of Pro Tools. However, Air Music Tech has included some additional updates plus some new plugins. In this video, we're going to use a top charting song called Blue by talented young Kai. Let's dive in. Here we go.
Would you mind if I took your hand tonight? No, you're all that I want this life. I'll imagine we fell in love.
All right, cool. So we got a real nice balance. And the first thing that I want to do is to improve on the lead vocal. So let's take a look at the Creative Effects bundle. Now, these plugins have existed inside of the Pro Tools ecosystem. It's a complimentary bundle. Effects Collection Mark II have updated not only the user interface, but also added some new plugins. And I've been using this for like a long time. In fact, these are my go-to whenever I want some very quick, easy fix, creative type of effects. Cool. So this video, we're going to explore and build this mix together. So the first thing I want to do is I want to improve on the vocals by using a channel strip. So let's go ahead and solo that.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars.
Sounds real nice. So I'm going to go to Air Channel Strip. There it is, stereo. And as you expect from a channel strip, you have EQ, you have filter, gate, compression, and output. Now for compressing vocals like these, I'm going to go for a low ratio. So let's bring this down. And let's increase the attack to about 20-ish. Release 200, it's fine. Now I'm going to use this dial here, which corresponds to the threshold. Here we go.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars.
And that's a real nice setting. What it does is that it evens out the vocals. It doesn't introduce any artifacts. It's not like too aggressive. Listen.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars.
Cool. Let's increase the output.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars.
And let's use the EQ to make the voice a little bit more forward in the mix. So for that, I'm probably going to boost somewhere around 5K. Let's use this mid band, set this to around 5K.
Your morning eyes.
There it is. You can hear why we're boosting that frequency.
Your morning eyes.
It allows you to hear the texture of the mid-range of the voice, allows you to basically have a little bit more point, if you will, on the vocals. Let's go ahead and hear it before and after.
Your morning eyes, I could stare.
That sounds nice and warm and full.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars.
This will cut better in the mix. Check it out.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars. I could walk you by an hotel without a thought. You'd be mine, would you mind if I took your hand tonight? No, you're all that I want.
So we're trying to keep the volume about the same because we don't want to be psyched out or deceived by a volume jump. But what I do want to focus on is on the tonality of the voice. So that's a starting point. Let's go ahead and leave it at that. And let's listen to what else stands out in the mix. And when I'm mixing, what I typically pay attention to are two things. I pay attention for things that are like sticking out and that need to be brought down or addressed or evened out. And that's basically going to be solved by mostly doing subtractive EQ. But I also pay attention to elements in the arrangement that I like and I want to enhance. So that's what I'm going to listen for. All right, here we go.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars.
Okay, so I identified the drums and they need a little bit more punch, more sharpness. This is not a, EDM track or a rock track necessarily, so they don't need to be loud, but they do need a little bit more definition. So let's hear the drums.
could stare like watching stars.
So I feel the snare could be enhanced more. Let's see what we can do about that. So for that, we're going to use Air EQ, parametric EQ. There it is. Nice interface. And we're going to boost somewhere in the high mids. That sounds like the underneath mic on the snare. Let's see if that works. We'll listen to it in context.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars. I could walk you by an hotel without a thought you'd be.
Yeah, I think with the EQ boost, it gives more definition to the snare. Without it, it feels like the snare is getting lost in the mix.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars.
And it also helps the kick to cut through. Again, it just gives like very small definition. Now, let me see about playing around with the space. So there are a number of reverbs in the collection. Let's go ahead and check them out. So let's go for this one right here, the non-land reverb. So let's go ahead and put this after the EQ. There it is. Cool, let's check this out. I'm just going to solo it and play around with these parameters. Hello, Phil Collins. I'm going to use a high cut because I don't want the splashiness of the hi-hat. Makes that reverb sound a little darker. That sounds like a lot, but let's see what that sounds like in the track.
Your morning eyes, I could stare like watching stars. I could walk you by an hotel without a thought you'd be mine. Would you mind?
Yeah, it's there, but you can't tell that it changed much, and that's a good sign. So we'll leave the drums alone. And something else that stood out to me was this guitar part right here. This kind of like downward strumming.
Your morning eyes.
Very essential in the song arrangement. Basically, that is the song, if you will. But I think it's getting in the way of the voice. So let's hear what it sounds like when the bass, the guitars, and the voice comes in. Here we go.
You'd be mine, would you mind if I took your hand tonight? No, you're all that I want.
Yeah, I think that can be improved. So let's go ahead and solo that with the bass and let's hear them in context. Right. So what I'm hearing is that there's like this like low mid bump on the guitars, and that gets in the way of the bass. It's basically they're masked frequencies. That means that the guitar is masking the bass notes. All right. And so let's address that. Let's see. There's a number of ways we can do that. We can do that with filters. There's the Air Vintage filter, and that basically works as a filter, like a high cut filter or low cut filter. Resonance and fat, these are additional parameters that you can use for like creating crunch and things like that. So that's just completely eliminating the lows, which is what we don't want to do. But let's find where the resonant frequency of this cutoff is. So I'm going to increase this. Whoa, chill out, dude. Somewhere around there, somewhere like 340. So let's bring the resonance down. Again, this might be too much, but let's see if we can get the right settings. Here we go. That adds distortion. I think that works. I can actually hear the bass notes now. Right, so what I'm listening for is the actual bass line. Boom, 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 right? And if I can't identify those notes, then something's masking them. So let's see if using a low cut solve that issue. Let's hear it in the track.
Mine, would you mind if I took your hand tonight? No, you're all that I want this life.
Okay, so it might work, but let's try something else because I feel that we're losing too much volume in the vibe of the guitars. We don't want to kill that. Let's try using air EQ. There's a parametric EQ. All right. And again, same thing. So it was around 340, I think. So let's start there. That's the masked frequency. Nice. And then I think I have a low cut option. Yep. And since we're here, why don't we make the guitars brighter? A little glossier.
All that I want this life.
No, it doesn't need that. Cool. So we have the guitar EQ'd. Let's put it into a space. And I think I saw a spring reverb. Yeah, air spring reverb. Let's see what that sounds like. So air spring reverb. And there it is. Let's solo it. Air spring reverb always works good with like guitar instruments. I think it sounds too mono-ish. Let's see what else there is. Let's try a delay of some type. There's the air diff delay. Okay, let's try that. Air diff. I think it's diffuser. Take this off and then just play around with the timing manually. Increase the mix so we can actually hear what it's doing. Okay, let's hear that mix. That's nice, actually. What it does is that it pushes the guitar back further into mix. So I'm curious to see what that sounds like with the voice.
Mine, would you mind if I took you?
Yeah, that's nice. So basically, when I have the mix at 0 on the guitars, then the guitar is like right here and the voice is like here. But when I increase the mix, like the guitar goes like this. All right, let's check that out.
Mine, would you mind?
I think that works.
Mine, would you mind if I took your hand tonight?
Maybe too much mix.
Mine, would you mind if I took your hand tonight?
All right, cool. Let's check out the bass track. And I think there's some kind of amp simulator. Let's find out. Let's go on to harmonic, air distortion, flavor, lo-fi, talkbox, tube drive, spectral, amp sim. There it is, air amp sim. All right, air amp sim stereo. And wow, that looks like a big user interface there. So this is a simulates guitar and bass amplifiers with a wide range of available cabinet models and tone shaping options. So in here, let's choose bass. This is the original. That's with the cab model. Let's try another one. Nice. I am losing some of the definition of the mid-range. So let's play around with these parameters, bias, drive, and everything else. One thing you want to be careful of whenever using these types of plugins is the volume jump. Let's hear that with a track.
Mine, would you mind if I took your hand tonight? No, you're all that I want.
Without it, the original one sounds more even. This makes it stand out in the mix. I don't know if I want to use that or not.
Mine, would you mind? Mine, would you mind?
I don't want to use that. But let's see if we can use some kind of distortion or saturation. So I think there was a, what is this? Air distortion. Let's see what else there is. Lo-fi, talkbox, tube drive. Let's try air tube drive. Air tube drive. One thing about mixing is that you don't have to commit to any one of these decisions. What you want to do is you want to make the best decision that fits the song, and don't be so technical minded about it. Be more reflexive in your mixing, like what feels right in the mix, So if one thing doesn't work, switch it out for something else. That's nice, actually.
Would you mind if I
Yeah, I can hear the notes now.
Would you mind if I took your
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do a reality check. And that's basically, I'm going to select all the tracks and I'm going to hit Shift A to bypass the plugin. So when it's this dark blue, that's bypassed. And when it's gray, that's enabled. And let's go ahead and hear the before and after.
Would you mind if I took your hand tonight? No, you're all that I want this life.
Cool. I think we're making progress. Let's see what we can do about these backing vocals. Let's check them out.
Oh,
that's sick. Definitely some kind of reverb. So let's see what else we can do to add like width and depth and things like that. So harmonic, note modulation, air ensemble, chorus, flanger, fuzz, wah, half speed, multi-chorus, air phaser. Wow, these are a lot of plugins. Air stereo width, stutter. All right, I thought I saw something. Let's see here. Okay, it's the talk box. Let's see what the talk box would do. Now, I might not use this, but I'm curious to see what this sounds like.
I'll imagine we fell in love on that winter moonlit skies with you.
That's cool. Oh man, that's crazy. All right, let's check out some presets.
I'll imagine we fell in love on that winter moonlit skies with you.
That's funny. The artist will probably not approve of that, so I'm not going to use it, but that's interesting what it can do. Let's try the air ensemble. Air ensemble. Yeah, that's it right there. Let's decrease the rate and the depth. That sounds real nice, actually. Let's bring the mix down. Oh, that's real cool. Let's try some kind of reverb. So for this, let's go ahead and go to the reverb, not the spring or the nonlinear. And you have a couple of different things like early reflections. We can make that sound like a small club or a small room. And in order to actually hear that, you can adjust the balance between early reflections and tail.
I'll imagine we fell in love on that winter moonlit skies with you. I think I'll picture us here with the waves.
Nice. Let's increase the ambience. No, it just adds like a bunch of pre-delay. I don't like that. I think it's too long. That's a much tighter reverb. That's cool. Let's hear before and after. This is without the ensemble or the reverb. And with. By the way, that was not a pun. But with reverb, and let's go to channel strip to increase volume and do a little compression. So low ratio, attack, release.
Skies with you. I think I'll picture us here with the waves, the ocean's colors on your face.
This is before?
I'll imagine we fell in love.
Could barely hear him. After?
I'll imagine we fell in love.
Yeah, it just adds this nice glue, harmonic ambience right behind the voice. So that's cool. So let's go ahead and check out everything before and after. This is before, and then I'll activate them. Here we go.
This life. I'll imagine we fell in love on that winter moonlight skies with you. I think I'll picture us here with the waves, the ocean's colors on your face. I'll leave.
I think the drums are too much. I would tame that down a little bit. I think it's too much of a boost on the drums. So from 3 to like 2 dB. The non-linear, let's bring that down a bit. Okay, cool. So we have a decent sounding mix. Now let's go ahead and see what we can do to improve on the mastering or the mix bus channel. And I already got a couple of things here going on. I have a EQ that I use to control resonant frequencies. I like mix head on everything. And then I have two hardware inserts. I have the Audioscape G-Bus compressor, which is an SSL compressor. And then I have the Warm Audio MPX, which is a tube saturation across the whole mix. I gain stage into this master channel so that I have a real healthy level, and those processors are only coloring the mix, but they're not really like squashing the mix or getting into the red zone area, if you will. But after all this, let's go ahead and add a limiter. This is like all the noise floor that you hear from the analog gear, which is interesting, huh? You have two knees, hard or soft, release, LF mono. This is important. So low frequency mono. So it's going to make any frequency below this point. So if I set it to 100, it's going to make anything in the mix below 100 hertz in mono. It's going to fold down to mono. And that usually results in tighter bass and tighter low end. Look ahead. And so let's go ahead and just start with this. So ceiling, let's set this to -1. There we go. Low frequency mono, we'll leave it around 100. Release, let's bring this down to about 10. And then we'll adjust this threshold to basically make our entire mix a little bit louder. Here we go.
This life, I'll imagine we fell in love on that winter moonlight skies with you. I think I'll picture us, you with
There's a big volume jump, which I don't like. So let's bring the ceiling down.
this life. I'll imagine we fell in love on that winter moonlight skies with you. I think I'll picture us, you with the waves, the ocean's colors on your face. I'll leave my
I like that. So what it did to the mix, it basically squeezed the mix and it made everything sound more even. All right. Now, typically what happens when you add a limiter at the end of your signal chain, after you do all these changes, you might have to go back and adjust the reverb settings so that they're not too loud. Maybe an EQ move is too aggressive. Now you can hear all that. It's basically like taking a magnifying glass, and now you're able to inspect into all the details of the mix. That's what usually a limiter does. It does two things. It helps you get the volume up to standard mastering streaming service level, but it also reveals things in the mix that maybe you weren't paying attention to before. So I'll stop right there. And that's all the time that we have for this video. Again, my name is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. If you enjoy this, be sure to check the credits in the video description for Young Kai. Check out this track, Blue, which is making hits in the streaming charts. Also check out the Air Creative Effects Collection 2. If you want to learn more about spatial audio, which is what my specialty is and what's called immersive mixing, I have a free guide for you, which is a spatial audio guide. And you can also find a link to that in the video description below. As always, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like this video, and share it with a friend. Share it with a producer, share it with an artist. If you like the song, share the video. All right, that's all the time that we have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Till next time, peace.